Hello and welcome to Echoes of Color with Jefferey Morrison. How's it going? Alright. Today we're going to do another WIP Chat. Since I throw this piece of the lamp cover into my garbage can. Okay, Treasure Studios Art. Yeah, this is the canvas. We're around here. It's part of the sky. And the horse's Bridge of the Horse's Nose. Okay, Night Horse by Polina Bivsheva, 60 by 60 centimeters. Square diamond, and it's mounted film adhesive. Yeah, Treasure Studios Art.com. Mail, Instagram, Facebook. This is an older canvas. Alright, and it's just 30 regular DMC colors, no ABs, which stands for Aurora Borealis. Yeah, it's just 30 regular colors. Yeah. Alright. So, we're in a similar location, 27, if not doing certain part of this section before the last WIP Chat. Okay, I'll just move down a bit and over. Okay, I think we got it, the whole shebang in here. Okay, so we'll just continue on from where I was before. Okay, 27X. I have to stay up late tonight, so yeah. Or try to stay up late tonight so I can sleep during the day for night shift. Okay, 27. Yeah, it's my long week next week. 27X. Did I finish X? No, okay. Alright, I'm just gonna find an X to get started again here. Alright, there we go. Okay, we're up and running again. Yeah, so to get my bearings again. After not looking at a canvas for a while. A bit. I got sucked into Christmas movies today. A little distracted today. For sure. But it was nice to not have to worry about a couple things today. You have a good cover of snow on the ground. A little bit of I don't know if it's packing snow necessarily, but it was a pretty good snowfall throughout the day today. So it's all good. I don't know if this snowfall will stay necessarily. I think the ground is a little too warm still. For it to stick around, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I did have to brush off my car to go get my dad coffee and a pack of hockey cards from Tim Hortons. There's that promotion going on now where you get a pack of 3 hockey cards for $1, like a hockey trading cards, Upper Deck. I'm not a huge hockey fan. Like, I open the packages, get them for my dad, really. I've done it a few times. I don't collect all the cards, but I open them up and I'm like, I don't know who these players are, so yeah, it's just something I get for my dad, other than a coffee. Yeah, it's like $2 or $3 without the cards. Yeah, if you just get like a pack without a beverage, you just get the cards, it's like a couple bucks. But with a beverage, they're $1, supposedly. I'm pretty sure I've paid like a couple bucks for a couple of the packages, but I don't really say too much. They're hockey cards. It's just something extra for my dad. I don't know. He likes the Toronto Maple Leafs, but I don't know. They're just generic. I'm starting to wonder if the Penguins captain and the other hockey player that are featured in the Tim Hortons commercials for the cards are rare cards or something. They're really hard to get, it seems. Let's get a whole bunch of other players. But I'm not really too familiar with or might have heard of. But yeah. Yeah, there's like a collection binder that you can buy to for these cards. The promotion just seems to be really short, or they run out of cards before the end of the promotion period. So in the commercial, there's like a woman that's like someone who's filled the binder with all the cards, supposedly. I'm like, yeah, right. Offering something of that nature, 3 packs, 3 cards per pack. Are you like buying like 10 packs at once? Like, are you just buying the hockey cards like at that point? Because being able to get all the cards at one Tim Hortons location just kind of seems a little... I kind of laugh. It's kind of like Monopoly at McDonald's. Their promotion there. It's like, yeah, you're not going to get a complete set of stickers at one location, one McDonald's location. I don't know how they spread the stickers out. It's completely random, but I don't think it's actually been the Monopoly board for a while. It's been like just groupings of the street names. I remember when Monopoly first came out, like for McDonald's, it was the actual Monopoly board. I guess it must have been too confusing for people to place the stickers. I don't know, the streets are color coded and all that. And now there's like 2 or 3 different renditions of... There's in Animal Crossing, there's a Mandalorian Monopoly. I just shake my head. I'm like, I haven't even played like the original Monopoly. We're not really a board game kind of family. We don't pick up... We don't have a stack of board games that we just sit around the kitchen table and play. Or not really, not those. That kind of family. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's just not what we do. I just see another rendition of Monopoly and my eyes just roll. I'm like, seriously, where's like where's the basic Monopoly? Like, I'm not even sure how that game works. Like, you go around the board once, each player, and then you can start buying properties. Is that... And I guess you land on an event spaces. You have to pay fines and all that. Or you get cash bonuses or something. There's probably a very specific list of rules. Heck, you can probably even just play it on a video game console for all I know. The only board game I really know of is like Mario Party, like that franchise. But yeah, a virtual board game, mind you. Virtual boards with the Mario characters, but it's the only board game I can like readily relate with. I guess you could say Mancala, but that's more like of a strategy game where you put polished stones in like a wood tray in different beveled holes. And the goal is to get the stones into your end of the Mancala board. Like, it's usually a handmade kind of game board. I think it came from like Africa or something. Yeah, you and an opponent take turns to move your color. There's like a couple color stones. Yeah, 2 different colors of polished stones or whatever. And you put them in, you put four or so stones in each beveled out piece of the wood. And you pick them out of one hole, and then you just place the number that's in the hole into the next beveled tray or something until one of the players manages to place all the stones into the end beveled hole of the Mancala board. Yeah, it's a certain number of colored stones, and yeah, you just keep taking turns. My older brother always accused me of cheating in that game. I believe it's basically down to blatantly counting the number of stones that you put in each beveled hole, and you pick up during your turn. You like pick a hole, I guess, and a beveled place on the board, and just grab all the stones that are in it, and like just drop one in each hole as you go. Yeah, I played that when I was younger, back when brother lived with I was like 9 or 10. Like, we're talking that far back in Stratford, for all I know. Yeah, not really. I do have Jenga. I sometimes just pull that tower out and yeah, just play it myself. kind of depressing. That's more like a party game, but yeah. Just, yeah. It's just a tower building game. Truth or Dare Jenga, just regular Jenga. Like, just gotta love the different renditions of board games. Just Monopoly is just overkill. With the different renditions out there, I think there's like Simpsons. Yeah, Simpsons Monopoly. It's just, I think I seen that a couple of years ago. I seen Simpsons Clue. I think I have that one. I'm like, holy cow, this is ridiculous. We received an Amazon catalog in the mail like a couple weeks ago for this Christmas stuff, and then I flipped through it today, and I'm just like through the catalog out of the living room, seeing like 3 different versions of Monopoly. Like, are you kidding? Like, yeah, it's just. And then this time of year, you'd see toy commercials out of nowhere for like doll houses, and yeah, you just see toy commercials that you haven't seen like all year, just suddenly coming out of the woodwork. Nerf guns, and it's like, wow. And you see them like 20 times a day on certain channels. It's like, uh, nobody really needs this stuff. It, but for a kid, it's probably like, mommy, mommy, please. Mommy, daddy, I must have this toy. And I just look at it as like a huge piece of unrecyclable plastic. Like, but for a kid, it's probably something really special, but I just see something that's just gonna sit and collect dust after a while. I don't have kids. Just seeing these commercials, I just kind of have that. It's like, oh, toy commercial. Great. I've seen this 60 times already today. And it's like, a doll assembly acquired, dolls sold separately, and they don't stand on their own. It's like, why not? They're human form. Like, why do you design dolls like this that don't stand on their own? You're basically leaning on the playset to make it look like they're standing. It's just like and it's like dolls don't move on their own either. Like, okay, I can tell you that. Unless we're watching an episode of Chucky. It's just like, oh boy. Yeah, if kids are watching these and they're like seeing dolls, like the kids in the commercial playing with them, yeah, you gotta tell them, like, yeah, these dolls don't move on their own. The Lego commercials too. I don't mind the Lego commercials. There's a lot more effort and marketing put into those commercials. Like, Lego's an extremely creative, versatile building tool that has a lot of different variety of uses. And yeah, it's very versatile. But just some princess castle where you have to buy like the dolls separately and your parents have to build the set. That's probably expensive. It's just like, yikes. Get something that's actually gonna keep somebody's attention for a while. Not just be like a couple weeks after Christmas or the holidays and it's like, hey, yeah, this toy is not interesting anymore. Okay, I'm bored. It's basically what that building set's gonna turn into. That castle. Disney Princess Castle. They're advertising the fluff out of it. It's just like, yeah, that's not gonna keep an older child's interest for very long. Yeah, unless you have a really good gift card from Toys R Us or something. Yeah, that's not gonna be an attention keeper kind of toy, but yeah. Oh well, that consumerism stuff just kicks in. It's after Remembrance Day, so yeah, go hog wild for Christmas stuff. I'm okay with it now, but yeah, you just have to let Remembrance Day. Yeah, that's a little important. More important than the Christmas kind of intensity, bombardment, sensory overload. It's like, yeah, let's remember like the end of the wars from like 100 years ago now. It's like, remember the sacrifice of thousands, if not millions, of soldiers abroad, worldwide, world wars. Yeah, that sacrifice is a little more notable than selling a dollhouse. Wouldn't have that stuff if it weren't for the outcome of the wars. Yeah, be in a little bit more different position than we are now, probably. So, yeah, I had to be thankful for certain stuff. Okay, 11Y. So it's a lighter blue. Yeah, doing this. Probably just basically going to be more of the background here. Yep, so I'll just work. I'll just kind of choose this spot and just start dabbing away here. Play some drills. Yep, just part of the sky. Hopefully I got all the X's. Okay, it's Y, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have E here, and Z or Z. I'll most likely say Z when I run into it. Yeah, I'll say both, Z or Z, just so, yeah. Up here we say Z, and then in the United States, Z. Yeah, I get it, for sure, but that's what I'm referring to. I do have a Z or Z symbol on this canvas. So I'll say both. It doesn't bother me. Yeah, in the Kappa word search books, it's an American publisher, so color is spelt without a U. We spell color C-O-L-O-U-R up here, but yeah, it's all good. It's American word search book, but I'm okay with it. So is Penny Press, I believe. I think that's American too. But hey, when I see color, I'm fine. I can spell both. It's like okay, or say Z or Z. Like it's the same letter, just how it's spoken, but you know what it means either way. If you are affiliated with the English language, American English, Canadian English, etc. But yeah, it's all good. Tomato, tomato. It's like, yeah, it means the same thing. It's just how it's said, but that's nothing too scary. It's all good. No worries. Yeah, just adjust accordingly. It's all good. Okay. Just keep double checking the symbol. Okay. Y. I don't know. It just depends where you presently live. Like, yeah, if I was in the United States, like living in the United States, I'd be saying Z, like all the time. But here in Canada, it'd say Z. I don't know, it just, I don't know, is there like a New York or Boston accent? Kind of like a tone of voice. Yeah, I guess you could call it an accent. Nothing wrong with it. It's just you're just in that environment. Heck, if you're over in England, you'd probably get an English accent. And yeah, they have different ways of, describing certain things entirely. I think I've seen a couple YouTube videos or shorts on Instagram or whatever, probably TikTok, but put on YouTube or Instagram, of how different things are said between the States and the UK, I think. And it's just somebody's eyeballs and mouth superimposed onto the world map or something. It's pretty funny. It's just shows those blatant differences. But yeah, it's all good. It all eventually means the same thing or something very similar. It's just said differently, that's all. No big deal. Tomato, tomato. I know what both those mean. Then you get to the point where tomato is a fruit. I will never understand why, but you just instantly think of vegetable, but it's not necessarily sweet or anything. Might have a slight tanginess to it. Yeah, I'll never get my head around. There's probably a very valid explanation for that scenario entirely, but yeah. you just go with the flow with some things. It's like okay. It's just like, what do? You try to understand, and then it's just nah, never mind. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, go for it. Fine with me. Oh well, it's all good. Just as long as something's described half decently, as a valid description, and you know what it is, I think the world will be fine. But just learning something different or how to say something differently, yeah, it can be a little jarring at first, or it'd be like you just reflexively want to revert to how you describe it based on where you're from. Yeah, it's a natural kind of habit. Yeah. I don't know, you get acclimatized almost to saying stuff a certain way or doing something a certain way, and then if you're in like another place in the world, it would probably mean something totally different. UK, crisps and chips are two different things entirely. Crisps are what was it? Crisps are potato chips in the UK or Europe. And chips are fries. There we go. I almost forgot what the other one was. Just like right there. Derp. Yeah, we watched Coronation Street here on CBC or whatever. Right? We watched Coronation Street, 30-minute, half-hour soap, British soap. Yeah, show. BBC show, sure, something like that. And yeah, you get the English slang, kip, and yeah, crisps and chips. Yeah, so crisps are potato chips and chips are fries, if I have that right. It's like, yeah, just one of those things that you learn. Yeah, and tea is not only the beverage, but I think it's like supper time. Is that right? Or mid-afternoon break of some sort? Yeah, you hear that a lot in Coronation Street. Or want a cuppa, like a hot beverage, or yeah, most likely leaning towards tea, I'd imagine. Yeah, and that's all too familiar. What a cuppa, and yeah, that's pretty cool to like just see that, hear that kind of those conversations or that slang. I don't want to say slang, but yeah, just those kind of common English terms. Tea, cuppa, kip, rest, I guess. Yeah, pretty cool. It's something out of the ordinary over here, but yeah. I'm pretty sure I hear English accents when I go to the grocery store. Like, Canada's multicultural, so is the United States. And it's all good. It's nice just hearing, like, English accents every once in a while, or a different language even, just out of nowhere, just at the grocery store, or whatever. It's something nice to hear. Because you just get used to Canadian, just regular conversations around here. But yeah, just having like an accent, or even briefly hearing a different language for other than French for like a bit, even if you don't understand what's being said or whatever, it's just nice to kind of hear every once in a while. It's just a nice little break. Cat scratching at the door to the studio. Again, must be hearing me while I'm recording here. Oh, that Axel kitty. Oh, cat's having a time. 11, what? How are we doing? 32? Yeah, watching those Christmas movies, it's quite easy to get detracted from the day, because they're a couple hours long each. They're made for like TV. Kind of those, sometimes Canadian produced, but there are other times where they're filmed in the States. And they're like Hallmark productions, so yeah, film in BC sometimes, and Seattle, and yeah, Chicago, New York is a big common one too. Location stuff. Or they perceive the setting as New York, but it could be like somewhere else. New York State, or yeah, there's quite a scope of those Christmas movies. Christmas Hallmark movies. Those nice feel-good movies. Romances. Some of them you just go, oh my gosh, how could anybody bear to decorate their whole house like that? Even their bedroom has like lights and garland on the headboards. It's like, how are you supposed to sleep at night with like lights on your headboard of your bed in your bedroom? It's just, we have a cat, so it's like decorating any part of the house would just make the cat want to go Matrix style and rip stuff off the walls. Or he already freaks out when like beams of sunlight come in through the windows in the kitchen. It's like chasing after reflections of light beams. Or swatting and just meowing incessantly. Darting around the house. Because of these lights. As the sun rises and shines through the window, yeah, you get these little light reflections off of the glass and stuff. And spots that just make the cat go crazy. And then, of course, you get a period of 5 or 10 minutes in the living room where the sun's, if you're sitting on a certain couch in the living room, the sun's like right in your eyes. And you're just putting your hand up in front of your face or moving to a different couch in order to avoid the really bright sunlight. Yeah, fun stuff. Alright, these eyes are just kind of, or Y's are kind of everywhere. Said eyes. Jeez. Because I'm seeing like the word I with the E's and the Y's beside each other. I'm covering the Y symbol now, the capital Y symbol. Oh, jeez. Letters and, oh boy. Yeah, this Y is part of the sky, so just kind of, so over on the left-hand side here. Yeah, I'm not seeing any on the bridge of the horse's nose. This is a really different blue for sure. Yeah, definitely a specialized sky color for this canvas anyway. This is one symbol that, yeah, you're guaranteed to miss at least a couple of, because they're intermingled with other letters. But yeah, the symbol bags are labeled, and yeah, it's just called get the bag of drills back out that's designated for the symbol, and just place the drill. But yeah, a lot of people, a lot of diamond painters could like relate with missing a symbol, like once you put that specific color drill away. Yeah, I miss symbols all the time. Just starting a new color, and it's just like, oh, come on. It's like that self-defeat. It's like, oh, come on. Where did that come from? Yeah, not having like 3 or 4 trays of drills out, because knowing kind of clumsy me, I will guarantee spill one of the trays, and if it's like similar shades of blue, one lighter or darker than the other, ever so slightly, that's not gonna be fun. Sometimes, yes, the colors are like one's light and one's dark, like day and night kind of thing, but there are 2 similar reds that are like right next to each other on the color list. And it's like, yeah, if you mix those up, it's like, yikes. There's not too much red in this picture. Minus, yeah, the knight's cape was basically the red in this picture, and there might be a hint of red in the horse's eyes, but very little. I think there's like 1 red for the horse's pupils to kind of define its eyes, but yeah, just basically the knight's cape and part of his armor to represent, I don't know if it was blood or the armor's like rusting, or it's the reflection of light, the red from the cape like reflecting onto the metal to get that kind of polished style. a kind of gloss finish style. It was rendered well. Definitely. This can be a complex kind of canvas. A lot going on, confetti driven. Yeah, but for detail, of course, for sure. But no worries, all good. I'm just working my way through it, just color at a time, section at a time. It's manageable. And I just have to stay on your toes for some of these symbols though. Some sections where you get really good color blocking, and then other sections are like, yeah, confetti. This is kind of a mix right now. Color blocking / confetti. Less colors in the background, but yeah, it's like 3 different letters here. I'm just focusing on Y right now, but yeah, there's E and Y. Yeah, very different structure, but just right beside each other. Z or Z, it's a totally different background color, but E and Y have like the same background color, but 2 very different letters. Yeah, I can see how people manage to put drills on the wrong symbol and then realize a bit after that they have to pull a whole bunch of drills. Yeah, I can understand. I haven't experienced it myself, but I can relate because of the background color of E and Y. They could be slightly different, or they look the same the way I'm looking at them. Yeah, they look the same from my vantage point, but yeah. Just have to stay on your toes sometimes. Yeah. But yeah, if your sight's not the greatest or something, then yeah, it'd be an extra bit of a challenge. But yeah, don't let that hold you back. There's a will, there's a way. I believe I mentioned that a while ago. And I believe I've been told that for color blindness, there's certain lenses, maybe. Like, there's a way to be able to differentiate certain colors. Yeah, because it's like red and green, or certain colors that some people's eyes can't recognize or describe at first glance because of a certain part of the eye. They can't process the sight of certain colors. Yeah. There's ways around it, I suppose, but no, for obstacles like that, I'm sure there's a solution. I don't know directly, but yeah, I'm sure there's definitely ways around it. Yeah, I think Mario Party, like this most updated one, there's a game where the characters have to run to kind of platforms, mushroom platforms, and they're different colors. The Toad or something holds up a flag, and you have to go to that platform of that color, but they put kind of shapes on with the colors with each different color, so that you could kind of establish where you have to go that way. Yeah, so yeah, you just need like, yeah, a color kind of code. But yeah, there's usually shapes or a certain different symbol affiliated with the color, if that's the way some things are established. So that's good. So yeah, you can easily recognize or establish where something is by a different shape. I know, not being able to hear or see properly, yeah, that, yeah, hearing would definitely be detrimental to me. Losing hearing. No, losing any sense. Any of the five senses would just be it. It's not fun. Man. Yeah. Not having the ability to walk for the better part of a year is something I experienced. Breaking my leg. Walking without the assistance of crutches or a wheelchair, etc. But yeah, that was only a broken leg. If that was another situation completely, that would just be part of your life that you'd just get around differently. If that situation came up, like paralysis or something, you just find a way. You'd be wheelchair bound, or yeah. But not that I'd wish that on anybody, but yeah. The other half of that is just for like building design and all that. Sure, there are parking spots for the disabled or wheelchair bound individuals. Not to center anybody out, but like, yeah, just accessibility. I don't know, when you design like a building, you're just like, okay, this is for people, so you need a staircase, railings. Yeah. But you also should consider people in wheelchairs, etc. Yeah, need like wheelchair ramps, automatic opening doors, like push button open doors, wheelchair ramps, wider bathroom stalls, etc. Accessible stalls. Yeah, it's a totally different perspective if you're in a wheelchair or have crutches or a walker or in a scooter. Like, the level of accessibility changes considerably. I don't know, it should be standard, like both ways. It should be like a wheelchair ramp. And yeah, older buildings though, it's just, you'd be doing a lot of reconstruction, and yeah, that gets expensive, but for, yeah, it's just something you just have to do. And that might not be easy for a lot of businesses. You'd definitely have to do fundraising and all that for everybody to be able to make every building accessible. Like even swimming pools. Like, some of them just come integrated with like a wheelchair ramp or yeah, just some wider stairs or something to be able to get into the pool. Like, it is possible. It's just yeah, it's just gotta become a wider kind of feature in buildings. Braille for the blind. That's on hopefully a large amount of bank teller machines, assisted hearing ports on bank machines where you can get an auditory guide to use an ATM. Yep, that's on bank machines at my bank. Yeah, so that's good. Braille, that's just a common integration. There's audio cues for at cross lights where you press the button and it beeps when the walking signal is indicated at the where you want to cross. So that's good. Because being blind and walking across an intersection, like a busy traffic intersection at a set of lights, wow, just being blind, legally blind, wow, or just blind in general. I don't know why they say legally blind, but wow, oh, that's gotta be tricky. For sure. Your hearing would definitely sharpen it. Most people would have a guide dog, but yeah, just not being able to see the world. Yeah, whoa. I wouldn't even be able to describe that properly. Well, you'd basically be seeing black, I'd imagine, like darkness or blurriness if it's like glaucoma or something. I think the eyes just end up being closed for blindness, but I don't know. Ugh. But there's a way around that too, so it's not, there are barriers, but it's just a different way to do something or be able to do something like everybody else. You're still an individual and all that. It's just a different way that you perceive the world or experience or traverse the world. Yeah, just losing any of your senses would just be yeah, it wouldn't be great, but unfortunately it can happen with an injury or trauma, etc. But yeah, you just adjust and you find ways to be able to carry on with your day or your routine just like everybody else. But yeah, it's just a different method to complete what you need to do. Or you get help. There's somebody, a guide dog or something, or depending on your condition. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, that doesn't make anybody any different. Just because you have to do something different doesn't mean, yeah, you're not human. It's just not an easy perspective to describe because it's not firsthand, but if it ever did happen, like blindness or loss of hearing, yeah, it would be describable in some format for sure. Yeah, sign language seems to be coming to the forefront. Yeah, I've seen that on Coronation Street as well. There's a deaf character, and I think there's a child that's deaf as well. Lost his hearing or didn't have hearing when they were born. And yeah, a couple of the characters know sign language, and the individual that's can't hear, yeah, just signs. She signs conversations, and there's been an interpreter on the street as another character. I think there was like a wedding or something in the show, but yeah, there was an interpreter on the street, and she knew how to sign as well. And there were scenarios where the deaf person was describing their feelings in that certain situation, and people that were just could hear like regularly were getting an interpretation or translation of the signage relayed to them by the interpreter. So yeah, there's a way to learn sign language, ESL, I believe. Oh, that's English as a second language. That's an acronym, short form. But yeah, sign language, yeah, it is learnable. I think it is fairly, I'd imagine it's pretty accessible. Probably a specific course, but I had trouble learning French as a second language. Like, I just did another course. I was exempt from French in high school because I was just gonna fail French. It was just gonna be a disaster. Like, I was just infuriated with. I just couldn't do it. So I took a different course. But yeah, it's just like learning how to ride a bike. You learn the basics, get your balance, get used to it, muscle memory, etc. You find your center of gravity, etc. And yeah, eventually you're just like biking around. It's a second thought. It's like instant. But yeah, sign language, it would just become natural and fluent. Your hand movements would be, yeah, it's just something you gotta work on. Like with any skill, really. You just get used to doing it. So. A disability doesn't mean you can't do something anymore. It's just you have to find a different way to do it. Different way to do something. Yeah. It shouldn't be looked down upon. You just gotta offer or have those alternatives for those individuals to make the world a more accessible place for them without any hassle. It should just be a natural part of the environment. Yeah, and there are wheelchair ramps around. There are accessible buildings now. I think it's like building code to have community centers and stuff. They have to be accessible, period, or have an elevator, etc. So yeah, building standards are changing, but like years ago there probably weren't as stringent building standards as there are now. But anyway, you've been watching Echoes of Color with Jeffery Morrison. Down below in the description, I put my Facebook profile name, my Facebook business page, Echoes of Color, and my Instagram. All three. I just update basically the same post. Like if I complete this section, for example, I'll take a picture of it and post it on Instagram. And what I post on Instagram goes onto my Facebook, personal Facebook profile, and then I do a separate post in Facebook business page. But it's basically the same thing. So if you follow any one of those three options that are always listed in the vast majority of my WIP and chats and stuff, yeah, you'd get periodic updates. It's not every day. It's not constant, but yeah. You just get a progress snapshot every once in a while. I don't update all the time because, yeah. But you will get meditation quotes. You'll see a lot of those on my Instagram. Not every day, but a little more regularly. I do meditate as much as I can on various apps on my phone. So yeah, they're just quotes based on a meditation session that I did. It shows up after as kind of like a little prize at the end for meditating. So, but yeah, other than that, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you later. Bye.